Hello everybody, it's Rebecca here at Why Mermaids, and today I'm doing the 25 bookish facts about me tag video thing. This tag video thing was originally created by Alyssa at Pucks and Paperbacks, and it's all over BookTube right now, and I was not specifically tagged. But I don't care, because I'm gonna do it anyway. So without further ado, here are 25 bookish facts about me. I prefer reading paperbacks to all other types of books. But when I read hardbacks, I have to make sure that I take the dust jacket off first, because doesn't everybody do that? It just makes it easier. You don't want to mess up the pretty cover, so we take it off. I feel like most people do this. This is not a unique thing to me. I always take a book with me everywhere that I go, even if it means that I have to carry it in my hand because it doesn't fit in my purse. And like, I take a book every day with me to work, and very rarely do I actually get to pull it out and read it, but it's there, just in case. I always want to annotate books, but I have a hard time like actually doing it. Part of that's because I was brought up with the idea that you don't mess up books, but so I just have a really hard time writing in books as much as I really want to. And most of that is because my grandmother was a librarian, and so she always raised me with the idea, again, that you don't mess up books. Like, you don't fold the pages over or write in books or do anything to damage them. First book I remember loving was Bread and Jam for Francis, but I loved it because my dad would change it to Bread and Peanut Butter for Becca, which of course was me, because I liked peanut butter sandwiches the best. My parents are divorced, which means that when I went to go visit my dad, the very first thing we would do is go to the library, and I would check out a stack of books like this big, and then just proceed to read all of them throughout the next week while I was there. It was a great time. I only started listening to audiobooks last year. Yes Please by Amy Poehler was my first audiobook, but I've read a lot since then. I try to read about one a month. Sometimes two, but generally about one. I am part of a teacher book club, but we haven't met in a really long time. So it's kind of sad. But it diversifies my reading, which I really like. Last year I started keeping track of all the books that I read on a spreadsheet, and then this year I decided to use Brock from Let's Read. He has a gigantic spreadsheet that just tracks everything you could ever want to know about your reading habits, and I started using that, and I absolutely love it, and like so much to the point where I look forward to starting a new book so I can fill in the data about it. Like, it's kind of ridiculous, but I love it so much. My ideal day is to lay on the couch on a rainy day with a book and a cup of tea / coffee, because it just depends on my mood whether I want coffee or tea. My favorite genre to read is fantasy or magical realism. I have one tattoo, and it's book related because it's Harry Potter. Raise your hand if you have a Harry Potter tattoo. That's right. That's right. Harry Potter tattoos. I joined BookTube last year, and in just that 1 year, I tripled my reading. Just in 1 year. That's amazing. It's amazing. And this year, I've already like surpassed my previous reading goal from like 3 years ago too, so BookTube has definitely done nothing but positive things for my reading habits. And this year, I'm hoping to hit 100 books. 100 books! Which is insane, but I'm shooting for it, so that's pretty cool. I prefer to read the book before I see the movie or the TV show or anything else about it, because generally once I've seen the adaptation, I won't go back and read the book. I like to read the book first. My most owned author is J.K. Rowling, followed by Neil Gaiman. Surprise, surprise, right? I read all 5 Game of Thrones books in 3 months. I think that's all I did at that time. Like, I had no life except for Game of Thrones. Some people really like to read when listening to music or sounds or different types of things, but I can't read if there's any sound around me. I just can't focus. It has to be quiet. If it absolutely, like, there's sounds in the other room and I have to have something to block it out, I'll listen to Rainy Mood, which is it's an app where it plays the sound of rain and thunderstorms. That's the only thing that I can really like listen to while I'm reading. If I'm out shopping or doing whatever or trying to kill time, I will go to a bookstore or a library just to kind of hang out and browse through the books, and it makes me relaxed and happy. And it's a good way to kill time because there's so much to do at a bookstore. I used to work in a Barnes & Noble, but in the cafe where I made coffee for people. In high school, I read a lot of murder mystery novels, which is rare because I don't really read those now that much, but in high school, that's pretty much all I would read. I read a lot of Michael Connelly books with the Harry Bosch series. They were good. I liked them a lot. If it's a Peter Pan retelling, chances are I will probably read it or have read it at this point. So if you have any good ones, let me know. Let me know what they are, because I always look for good Peter Pan retellings. Some of them are not so good, but I still read them. I have a Kindle Paperwhite, which I really only use for traveling or for just books that like ebooks that I get from the library because I'm too lazy to go to the physical library to pick up a physical copy, or because there are more copies available as ebooks than in physical copy. So I read the Kindle for that, but I do prefer to read hard copies of books. As I already said, I like paperbacks the best. And this is my third tablet. I had a Kindle, the original one, the OG one with the buttons on the sides, and then I have an iPad, or I had an iPad, and now I have a Kindle Paperwhite, and this is definitely my favorite of the three to read on. The reason I like to read physical copies the best is because I need to be able to flip back and forth when I'm reading. I tend to do this thing where I miss things and have to go back and check or like have to see who that character was because I've forgotten, or just need to go check a detail or whatever, and so it's easy for me to flip back than it is to go search in Kindle for that name or whatever that word is. I just don't like doing that. I like to flip through it because I'm weird, and also it helps if there's like maps or something to be able to just quickly reference that by flipping rather than having to like search and stuff. So if it's a complicated book, I have a harder time reading it on a Kindle or an ebook format. That sounded very country. Format. And my last fact that's reading themed, bookish. A bookish fact. The last bookish fact I have about myself today is that when it's a section that I really like in a book, like there's a, or it's a section that like really hits me in a hard way, like when somebody dies or when somebody kisses for the first time or says something really cute, I will reread that same section, that like couple paragraphs over and over and over again to like really, I don't want to move on from it. I just want to like take it in a little bit longer, as much as I can, before I move on to whatever happens next. Well, those are my 25 bookish facts about me. I'm not gonna tag anybody because I wasn't tagged, so I don't feel like that's fair, but if you want to do this video, feel free to do it. And link in the below. Link me your video in the comments below so that I can check it out too and find out your cool bookish facts about yourself. Let me know if you have any ones that are similar to mine, or if you just think I'm weird completely. Let me know in the comments as well. And that's it for me today. I'll see you next time.